Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. And in this video, I'm going to show you some cards that I picked up at the 2023 National Convention in Chicago, Illinois. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm having a little bit of I don't know what to call it. I wish I could get a do-over at times as far as going to the National this year. I feel like there's so many people that I didn't get to talk to, even though I talked to tons and tons of people, and it was a wonderful time. I wish there's a part of me that wishes that that I had 2 or 3 more days, not to look at cards, but to visit with other YouTubers. And I did plenty of visiting, and it was fun. I I got to visit with a lot of people that just watched the channel. We had a huge turnout at the YouTube meet and greet on Thursday that Mike Moynihan put on, Baseball Collector. Um, just a wonderful time. But man, I do have a little bit of regrets about some people I did not get to talk to. But what I'm going to do here, instead of just whining about what I didn't get to do, I'm going to show you some cards of my pickups, and I'm pretty excited to show you. Uh, the national floor plan of the tables that were set up was incredible. It was very overwhelming. I walked and walked so much, looked at cards, and I was on the hunt, and I did pretty good. I brought too much money, and I brought a lot of cards to trade, and I'm happy to say that I achieved a lot of my goals. I had a list of about 60 cards that were possibles for me to pick up, and I ended up getting probably 20 of those cards that were on my list. I was going after different kind of runs. I do player runs, so I was going after a Lou Brock and Warren Spahn and Yogi Berra player run. I also collect. John Wade Boggs fan has 100 cards for $100,000. He has a list of that, and I'm trying to collect that too. I'm down. I narrowed that a little bit. And Ray from Philly and Mike Baseball Collector got me into collecting the 300 great cards by Mike Payne. I picked up some of those. I wanted to pick up a big card. I think I achieved that when I show you this card. And then I took 3 big cards to trade that were in SGC as part of my post-war Hall of Fame run that I tried to get converted to PSA, and I achieved that. So sit back, look at some cards, and enjoy them with me. And I don't if you're another YouTuber and you're like me and have a little bit of regrets, leave a message for me down below and stuff. But man, what a great time! What a great group of guys! What a great group of people that I got to see and be with. I got to go with some really good YouTubers and help them pick out some cards, which I loved. Fellow YouTubers that picked up some memorabilia that showed me first before they purchased it. It was just an all-around great time. But I'm gonna go through and show you these cards, so bear with me. This might be a little bit longer than normal, but I'll try to speed it up a little bit. Okay, first of all, working on a Carlton Fisk run. Just started it. Willie Stargell. I looked in my collection. I don't have a lot of Willie Stargell, but here's a 65 Willie Stargell. 65 Willie McCovey. These guys will be on my radar for the next National. I'm going to see what I can pick up between now and then, but I only have about 2 or 4 Willie McCovey cards. I saw these and I loved them. I have very few Bobby Doerr and Arky Vaughan cards, but I have more now. Beautiful cards. Now, I also set out to complete the Lou Brock, and I thought I had completed the Lou Brock run after leaving there because I picked up these 2 cards, which I thought were the last of the run, but as I was looking in my collection, I still need the 65 Lou Brock, but boy, those are pretty. I'm getting closer and closer to finishing my Yastrzemski run, but John Wade Boggs fans 100 for 100. He's big and heavy on the Yastrzemski and the Warren Spahn. But I picked up a few Yastrzemski cards to help with that run. Only a couple cards left for the whole run. I'm getting in pretty thick with the Al Kaline run. There's those. A couple of these cards, a lot of these cards I have in raw form that just aren't, I didn't take very good care of them. Here's a couple of the Warren Spahns, getting closer to completing that. Picked up two beautiful Warren Spahn cards right here to help get close to finishing that run and satisfy the 100 for 100 run. Beautiful cards. Now, some of these cards now are going to start getting a little bit, I call them cooler. Look at this Duke Snider. Beautiful card. Couple 1954s. I'm getting closer and closer to the Monte Irvin run. This white card here in that 54 set is just beautiful. Speaking of Monte Irvin, here's another one. Two really cool cards in that set. I have this rookie, so I'm well on my way to finishing that. I did a video on Bob Feller, and I was a little bit, not embarrassed that I didn't have as many cards on Bob Feller, but I went after a few of these. I saw them at a table, and I liked them. Now, a couple of the dealers were just wonderful people. They helped me out, and I see some videos every once in a while that it's kind of collectors versus dealers. And I tell you, there was some collectors there that I consider friends, and they were excited to help me finish runs. Stan of Stan's Vintage Cards and Donnie Hantz and Kevin Kennedy and Ashish and and Tim Payne, just some big heavy hitter dealers, and they were working out deals with a lot of people, and I was lucky to be one of them. Okay, getting closer to the end, so stay with me. I did not have this Gaudi of Hornsby. I had the other one, and I like this one. And even though it's a lower grade, it's still my card. It's going to be with me for a long time. When I traded a few months ago for the Hal Newhouser, I gave up a lot of Jackie Robinson stuff. So now I'm going to try to get back and complete my Jackie Robinson run once again. So I picked up 5 of the top 300 cards by Mike Payne. Here's the Pee Wee Reese play ball. Here's the 54 Jackie Robinson. Even though Ray and Mike and I kind of have a friendly little rivalry about it, picking up these cards and who has the most of the top 300, I got a little bit of help from my friend Mike, baseball collector. See, I had this card in a raw form at one time, but they wouldn't grade it because of it had a blank back. And Mike, baseball collector, saw this, and he texted me on the floor, and he says, "Hey, I got this card over here. I can get it for this price. Do you want it?" And he picked it up, bought it, and gave it to me, and to help me add another card to my 300 great cards. So now, getting closer to some of the bigger pickups, I got this Bob Feller. It's part of the 300 Great Cards. It's one of my favorite cards of his. I just love it. It'll go along with my Joe DiMaggio and Ducky Medwick that I have in that set. Now, the 3 cards that I brought to trade, I brought these in SGC form, and I wanted them to be in PSA just like the rest of my cards. The Minnie Minoso, the Richie Ashburn, and the Jackie Robinson. Look how pretty that card is. So there's quite a bit of people watching when we made the move on the Jackie Robinson. Now, I am going to, at a later time, tell you about my struggles with finding the Richie Ashburn card, but then at the very end, a dealer just made it really easy. And I'll tell you about that at a later date. Now, my 2 big pickups. I went there to pick up a big card, and I don't know what to call a big card. It's just big for me. And this one is a nice card. It's not as expensive, but I saw it and I had to have it. I was actually looking for a gold label T205 Ty Cobb, but my friend Matt and Tyrus picked one up, and I just didn't want to steal their thunder. As a matter of fact, my card that I was going to pick up was not near as nice as their card, and I hope they're going to show it, I'm sure, at a time. Now, my big pickup at the National was this T206 Ty Cobb bat on shoulder. Now, that helps me with my Ty Cobb T206 run, and I was pretty excited. Now, let me turn this back around. All in all, I had an incredible time. I got to travel with a close friend of mine for over 20 years, 25 years. Loves baseball and cards as much as I do. I got to go with his son as well, and his son's in his 20s and went to the National for the first time. The National was large, but it was not as large as the time that I had with my friends searching for cards. Now remember, guys, it is just a hobby. Collect what you like.